YouTube, man, what's going on? It's LNH back with another video, and today, man, we're talking about this insane transformation that Brandon Boston has gone through. Now, you guys know Brandon Boston by now, but man, I've not talked about him in a while because, of course, you guys know the news that happened with him. Terrence Clark, which was his guy, actually ended up passing away, and it was really sad. And Brandon Boston, honestly, in my opinion, seemed like in a really bad place. And of course, when people are going through certain things, you know, there's a time and place for everything to cover what people are doing. But now we're back at it again with Brandon Boston, and a lot of people are looking at this and something that he put recently on IG and wondering, man, this guy has clearly been putting in a ton of work. What are his NBA predictions? What is he really going to look like in the upcoming NBA draft? Where is he going to go? And I'm going to break that down and get right into it. Now, you guys know this dude's story, but a lot of people were questioning if he was going to really live up to the hype that he had back in high school. Now, let's start. Of course, he played with Sierra Canyon, was averaging around 20 points on that stacked team. Let's not forget that team was stacked, had a ton of really talented players. So you guys know his expectations and hopes were very high. Now, he was around 6'6", 175 in the class of 2020. So, of course, he was just a freshman, McDonald's All-American, and even played AAU with Sharif Cooper. Now, if you've been around the game of basketball, you guys know all these check marks, he really fit them. If you think about it, man, playing AAU with an excellent EYBL team, playing for Sierra Canyon with people like Zaire Williams, Zaire Wade, Bronny James, Amari Bailey, all these top guys, a McDonald's All-American as well. Man, honestly, the projection from this was honestly looking like he was destined for greatness. A lot of people thought he would come into college basketball and have a breeze. It would be very easy for him to just dominate on the court. And in addition to this, he was actually ranked 7th in the country, according to ESPN. Now, in my opinion, that means there's a couple things here. You guys know the projections for him were off of the charts. Now, a lot of people were wondering where he was actually going to decide to commit, but in this case, you guys know by now, ended up going to Kentucky, and honestly, in my opinion, it was a tough season. Now, one, with everything going on, games getting canceled, and not knowing if the season was actually going to happen, that's a huge factor. Everyone knows that that type of stuff happens, and that was completely out of his control. But the numbers that he put up, and what a lot of people said, a lot of critics had honestly said that, one, his shooting was inconsistent. Now, that's a huge thing, because honestly, he was known for his scoring ability in high school, his ability to put the ball in the basket and get the job done regardless of what competition he was going up against. And really, his jump shot was what he was known for. And of course, this dude can dribble the ball and is pretty athletic as well, which I think only increases in his game. Now, being at that college level, honestly, this just really didn't happen. Now, he averaged around 12 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and about 2 assists per game, but his percentages were not the best. Now, only shooting 36% from the field goal is not the best. And if you guys saw any of his games, he was really not the player that we thought he was going to be. There were definitely glimpses where this dude showed he could be an excellent player and could get it done on the court, but it wasn't as consistent as what a lot of people thought. Now, that's not to knock him at all, because of course he is still an excellent player regardless of if he didn't meet those high expectations, because he was still a good player at the end of the day. Now, of course, Kentucky's team was not doing the best either. They had honestly one of the worst records they've had in, I believe, over 30 years. And that's going to be tough regardless if you're on that team. It's going to be tough to have a really good season and keep a positive mindset wherever you are. Now, I give props to Brandon Boston for sticking it out and still trying his best to do his thing on the court. Maybe not trying to go to another team or transfer, and ended up putting his name in the draft. And you guys know it's crazy what we actually had found out. Now, Brandon Boston's stock, even though previously reported that it was going down, is actually stabilized. And in my opinion, of course, it's not as high as probably Brandon Boston would have liked, but it's not too low either. Now, a lot of the draft boards are actually projecting this dude as late first round or early second round. Now, I think that's pretty good for this dude. Of course, not as high as we wanted him to see, but the way he played with that season, it's okay. I think there are plenty of players who've struggled in college basketball, but are able to make it happen. Of course, the style of play with college basketball compared to the NBA are different. Now, I don't want to say the NBA is closer to high school basketball either, but we all know the style of college basketball is a tad bit different, and there are for sure people who have maybe not done as well in college and have been ended up being very good in the NBA, or vice versa. Of course, there are people who've had crazy careers in college basketball. We thought they would go to the moon and then ended up really being a bust in the NBA. And you guys, if you've seen Kwame Brown go off on YouTube, man, let me know what you think about that. But talking about bust life, man, that is this dude, and he is going crazy on YouTube. But man, I think Brandon Boston has an excellent shot. And of course, that draft stock can change. Now, there are a couple things you guys know. These pre-draft workouts are super important. Now, Brandon Boston is for sure going to get drafted, but I think he just wants to be higher than what he's projected as of right now. Of course, in my opinion, I don't think he really proved that he's going to be a higher player, just because honestly, I didn't see the type of aggression that I like to see from Brandon Boston. Man, it's tough when you're on that Kentucky team. Of course, it's very talented, but you have to have some type of grit to you to be able to get things done on the court, regardless of who you're playing against, and really just have that hunger to go after. And sometimes BJ Boston really did not have that, but that's not knocking him, because I think it's inside of him, but it just takes something for him really to get that loosened up and get after it, to really want to go after and prove himself that he's honestly one of the best scorers in the country. He showed it in high school, and that ability for sure is there, but it's just going to take some time for him to develop. And maybe a lot of people even thought he shouldn't put his name into the draft just because he really didn't have the best of his season. Maybe take another year, try to develop more, and then if you get drafted higher, that's only going to be better for you in the long run. You guys know it's a tough decision, maybe putting your name in the NBA draft and not knowing how high of a pick you're going to go. And then of course it can be tough, because once you do get picked up, how long are you really going to be on that team? The lower type of draft stock you are, it's going to be harder to consistently stay on a team than if you're a really high draft stock. Of course, they're more likely to keep you on the squad. So honestly, man, it's tough that Brandon Boston didn't end up staying, but I think he's still going to get drafted. And if he can really go through that development process, and a lot of people, honestly, new draft picks end up playing in the NBA G League anyway, I think that's probably where he may end up to overall develop his game and really 100% get ready for that next level. Now, I think the future is super bright for Brandon Boston, but again, it's going to take that time. But I just look at his overall career, and of course, you have to judge players based off of what they currently do and their past. But man, if you look at the type of competition and who he played against really his entire career, they have been solid guards, solid players, being at Sierra Canyon and all these type of accolades. Man, of course, that can't really help you at the next level, but I think it's a testament of how this guy will play further on. And of course, with this tragedy that happened with Terrence Clarke, I think it's going to give him a crazy motivation to try to get to the next level and show that he's one of the best scorers and really put on and represent Terrence Clarke where he goes. But I'm curious, man, what do you guys think in the comments down below? How do you think about Brandon Boston's build? Does he look like he got stronger? Let me know in the comments down below. But man, I'm curious what you guys think. How is he going to perform in the NBA as well? A lot of people were questioning this guy, and really said previously when he was playing that he honestly wasn't going to be that crazy good of a recruit. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, get a notification every time I upload a new video. Again, I appreciate all the support on the channel. Man, keep running up. Make sure you like it. It's free. Like the video and subscribe. All right, it's LNH and I'm out.